What's going on, people? Welcome to Toon Therapy. It's Thursday night. It's therapy night. Big hugs in the building. How you doing, mate?
What's happening, everyone? I am blessed, bro. Therapy night. This is something that we're doing now, and it's good to sort of, I don't know, like just talk about the stuff that's going on in Newcastle and the fixtures that's coming up, man. So I hope everyone's good and tuned in and fire away with your questions as well. Just let us know your thoughts.
That's it, man. Keep the questions coming in. Let us know what you want us to talk about in this therapy hour. Evening, Callum. Evening, John. Pete, starting off there. Obviously, the title is Trippier's out, but will Newcastle stay up? Pete's very optimistic. They're going for an 11th to 14th place finish. I like it, Pete. I like it. Plenty of people coming in, even from Singapore. Big up there. I've been in Singapore once. Lovely place. Would like to go back. So, Alfie, if you want to pay for me in Big Hugs to come over there, get it done. We'll come over, mate. We'll come over.
Let us know, man. Let us know.
Going good, mate. Going good. Right, and so topics today, we're just going to free flow as usual. We're going to just have a bit of freestyle with it, but we're also going to talk about Trippier being out. Who's going to replace him? Is Bruno going to start? Go back on the Villa win. Look towards the huge game Saturday lunchtime away to West Ham. And then maybe touch on a couple of other things, because today I posted on our Instagram that Newcastle are eyeing up a move for Jeremy Doku. Huge talent there, young Belgium international winger. As the club are apparently already plotting a huge summer spending spree where they want to improve in every single position. So that's music to the ears, isn't it, mate? Big change.
Yeah, it makes sense, man. It makes sense. Big change, and this is what it's about. This is what we was all going crazy for. It's happening now. So, but like I said before, the aim is to stay up first, and if we stay up, then we're good to go, man. Summer will be crazy for us fans. That we're going to see something that we ain't seen before. So yeah,
it is going to be mad, man. Because you think back to this January and just how many names have been linked, and even a few of the signings were made. Imagine that over the 3-month spell of the summer. How nuts it's going to be, man. There's going to be 4 million names linked with Newcastle and about 14 signings. It's going to be crazy.
Facts, and you've hit it bang on. Like January was a month, and we were linked with everyone, and even me, Mr. Positive. Now I was getting tired of it as well. I was thinking, freaking hell, like again. But now in summer, it's going to be even worse than that. So, but like I say all the time, like let's embrace it, because we've never been in this position before. Like probably the last time was probably under Freddie Shepherd. So we haven't been in this position where we're actually going out there buying players that are actually quality players. Yeah, actually bought some players, but it wasn't like this. There was that season, 2011, 2012, when we brought in some players from France, Cabayas or Demba, etc. But this one's different. This one is buying with intent. So it's going to be interesting, man. But I think for me, man, I'm going to switch off. Like from May till probably 1st of July, I'm going to switch off. I'm not going to look into anything, because the media won't have nothing to talk about. So they're going to create stories and say Newcastle's aiming for this person. So I'm going to switch back on probably 1st of July, when transfers can actually go through. And then, or when preseason starts, that's when I'll probably switch back on. But yeah, man, but we'll see, man.
It's going to be a host of names linked. Jake is asking here, do you think we will overhaul the full team come the summer with our budget? Who from the current 11 starts next season? Well, I mean, these owners aren't here to mess around. They're here to get up the league. And to do that, we will have to make plenty of signings, plenty of changes. If you're looking at that current 11, say from last weekend, Uggs, we'll replace Wood with Wilson, maybe, or maybe not. Who knows? But if you look at that, who do you think survives? I mean, I would go with Maxi, and then Trippier. Obviously, you started from then, though, mate. Honestly, I could see we're changing everybody. Say Maxi and Trippier. You could maybe could you throw Jabafka into the hat? No, I think we'd probably look for a new keeper. Wilson or Wood up top. I think we'd get a new striker in. Fraser, Shelby, Joelinton, Lascelles, Dummett, all these players. I mean, what do you think? Who do you think will still be starting for Newcastle come August? Yeah, if we stay up.
Starting, it's a new question, but I think we have to be careful though, because we don't want to change or upset the changing room and
Mm.
start bringing in too many new players like Fulham did or like QPR did. So we have to ease ourselves into that process. Obviously, 5 transfers this window in winter was needed because of where we won the league, and obviously we had to get signings and we had to improve, and it's been justified in the last 3 games. But we sort of have to be careful because we can't change everyone because obviously we've got to sell as well, but we just don't want to bring in everyone and have a room full of strangers. We have to sort of keep that team chemistry going, and a lot of the boys have been there now for years now. There's a core that's been with us since we actually went down, or even before that. But since we went down, there's that probably a few guys that's been there. So like the John Joes, the Lascelles, the Kieran Clarks, and actually no, f that guy, not Clark, sorry. But do you get me? So there's that players that's been out for a while, and they've been through Rafa, they've been through Bruce, they've been through Eddie Howe. So we sort of want to keep that going, but also make changes as well. So to answer your question, anyways, I would say probably like I'll say another centre half. We'll get a permanent left back in. We'll get probably another winger, but we'd have to get rid of one. So and then we'll probably get another striker. So probably like four or five players again. We don't need much because 4 or 5 players add what we had in add what we brought in January is 10 new signings in under a year. That's like a full starting 11 in a way. So um, yeah, so so like 4 or 5 players, I think.
Shelby and Chris Wood love a goal against West Ham. Well, let's hope. I mean, every week we've been saying since we started this last couple of weeks, Chris Wood manifesting to score a goal. He was close. He was close on the weekend with we have these penalty in his hand, didn't get given. But let's hope we can do the business against West Ham on Saturday. Get off the mark. It'll be a huge difference for
I
him,
said,
wouldn't it? What do you think now, mate? After seeing Chris Wood for what 3-4 games now?
it's a sticky one because I said last week as well. I said let's talk about Chris Wood next week because I wanted to avoid being negative and cussing somebody out. So I pushed it back a week. But now the week's here. It's time to talk about Chris Wood. And because I backed him, I backed the signing, and I still back the signing. I still do because I do believe he's added something to our team now. We have different options of playing forward now. We can find the feet of Sam Maxi or Fraser, but at the same time, we can also go long and find Wood because obviously against Villa, I watched him closely, and he's a warrior, and that is what we need as well. He was dominant in the air. We just need to get the players around him closer. So, and what he does is that when we do go long, the players around him who it allows us to sort of access Sam Maxi quicker, as opposed to passing through the lines or passing with the play. Sometimes Maxi gets the ball in front of the midfield 4, but when we go long and hit Chris Wood, and Chris Wood sort of brings it down and lays it off, Maxi is already in behind the midfield 4. So Maxi is now in a dangerous position, as so is Fraser. So that is the game of Chris Wood that I like, and that's why I say he offers us sort of a different threat going forward. But the negative side of thing is the guy's like a bus. Oh my days! Like there was a time there was a time at Villa. He had the ball to his feet. All he had to do was just turn and sort of play somebody in. But he turned, but it took him 5 minutes
Like a
to
12 wheel lorry, mate. Like a fucking
Hey
12
man,
wheel lorry.
it was mad. But it was mad because I backed him as well, and my friends were getting onto me. Chris Wood, what? I backed him, but I'm still gonna back him. But he just needs to relax and sort of play smart. And obviously, if he shows that he's nervous about not scoring, and that's going to add more pressure to him. So I think Fraser was in at Villa. Fraser was in. All he had to do is pass it through, roll him in, and Fraser is one on the keeper, but he shot and he's got it high. So doing things like that doesn't help you because now everybody knows how desperate you are to score. So that adds pressure to yourself. So just I would rather him get an assist and we scored than him not do that, sky it over, and then that adds more pressure to him. So he just sort of got to be a bit smart with his play. But I'm not mad at Chris Wood because again, it's for him. It's a new team, it's a new city. So it takes some time. I didn't expect him to come in and start scoring goals left, right, centre. If it happened, it would have been great, innit? But it's not happened yet. So obviously, stay positive, keep the faith in him, and hopefully he gets his goal on Saturday. And yeah, literally.
I mean, after the thing that there was a couple of times Fraser put a great cross in, he puts the header over the bar and that, but he is still holding the ball up a lot. He is still winning aerial duels. He's still dragging defenders towards him and allowing space for the wingers to get him behind. So he is helping us a lot. Do you know what I mean? It's things that may not be pretty. He's not getting his goals yet, but he's still bringing a good overall balance to that team. And you've got to think as well, he's used to playing with two up top. He's up there by himself really in this formation. So that's not helping him. But it's working so far. We're winning games, and that's all that matters, really, doesn't it? I mean, he's saying there in the comments, I believe we'll stay up 100% in how I have faith. Now, since we started this, mate, we're unbeaten. Since we started this podcast, 3 wins. Going for the fourth on Saturday. It's looking a lot prettier now, isn't it? Well, we're 4 points clear, game in hand. You've got pundits like Rio Ferdinand and Paul Mason and that coming out saying, "Oh, Newcastle are safe. Newcastle are staying up."
Gary Neville as well.
Do you think that's the case? I mean, for me, it's a bit too soon. I don't want to be saying we're safe already.
No, I mean, there's still a job to do in it, but we've made it easier for ourselves because, like I said before, that we just needed to get in the habit of winning. Because we do it all the time. We do where we win one game and one becomes two becomes three. And then come March, we think to ourselves, "Oh, what was all the panic about?" So that happens all the time. But it's easier saying that because of where we are now. But 3 games ago, we had only won one game and we were in trouble. So I'm glad that we've obviously got 9 points out of 9. We're unbeaten in 5. I think we've drew the last 2 before the Leeds game. So would we stay up? I mean, of course. Why not? Because we have the momentum now, and that's what we have over these teams. Because Burnley are dropping points, Watford are dropping points, Norwich are dropping points, Brentford are coming in now because we have a game in hand over them. And if we win that, or was it 2 games in hand over them? I think
2 games on Brentford, mate.
Yeah, exactly. So and we're playing them next as well. So if we all we need to do is focus on ourselves and keep winning games, and 3 wins out of 3 for me is magical. And like you just said, now since we started doing this podcast, we've been winning games.
Positive vibes.
Positive vibes. Hey, I'm telling you, man, it's facts. Like if we're all positive as fans, that goes through to the players, and they feel it. They feel it, man. So yeah, man.
I think we might have to rename this podcast the Law of Attraction podcast. We're bringing it to life. Bellingham and Isaac are the 2 I desperately hope for in the summer. Says John. Well, I'll be over the moon with them two, to say the least.
Steady
Bellingham
on,
and Isaac. Man. Maybe in a couple. I think they're going to go to Champions League teams, aren't they? Surely got to build around J7, Bruno, Maxi, and Trippier. Says Alfie on the question earlier, which was who out of this current start 11 would stay in the summer. Brian's confident of a 2-1 win at West Ham. Start Bruno. We'll get into that in a minute. I want to ask you about this, Uggs, because I talked about it because I was there at the game. I haven't heard from you, but what did you make of Big Dan Burns' big debut against Villa?
He impressed me. Like, he was better than I thought. Because I've only seen him in a thread at the back, and obviously with the 2 wide men. So I was a bit concerned with him playing in the 2. But hey, he looked composed. He looked like he's been there forever. If that, he slotted in well, and he's the perfect signing that we needed. Sometimes in life, what you need is right in front of you, and I'm so glad that the owners spotted him, because obviously it's easier to bring him in because he's a Newcastle boy as well. So so what we needed was right in front of us. Obviously the Carlos and the bottom guys, they would have been nice to have, but Dan Burn is just as useful. After what I saw against Villa and the way how he just dictated the game as well, and he just put the calmness to us, winning balls in the air, fighting for the shirt, tore off Mings' shirt, like, yeah, go on, what? Come then. Yeah, so like, do you get me? So like, I was pleased by him, and I just want him now to sort of keep going. Just keep going out on how it started, and hopefully he takes it into the game on Saturday.
I think you're right, because Carlos and Botman, yes, would have been luxurious signings,
Yeah.
but Bain is an astute signing for me. Someone who's been in and amongst the relegation battles with Brighton, Premier League experience, and is gonna play his heart out for his local town. Play his heart out for the black and white. And that's exactly what we need in the position we're in at the minute.
Yep, and all the signings that we made defensively, I think it was incredible business. Like, I take my hat off to Amanda, the owners, and whoever was involved in sort of getting these players in, because
Eddie Howe mainly, mate.
Yeah, and Eddie Howe as well, because like they just made it look so simple in terms of who they brought in. Trippier, 30 million, Burn and Target on loan. Of course, why not? It makes sense, and all of these players have experience in the Premier League as well. So, and that's why as well, because they know what to expect. So, and that was our weakest point this season, our defense. So yeah, I'm over the moon with the signings, and obviously how the team's playing is just a shame now. Obviously now, we've got some unfortunate injuries.
And there is the unfortunate injuries. Trippier out for a while, Manquillo out for a reported 2 weeks. Still yet to hear official confirmation on that. But Stephen's asking, who do you think will play in the back four now that they're missing? Now, obviously, Target is going to come straight back in at left back, since he's eligible again after being ineligible to face his parent club Villa. So Target will be in at left back. Bain and Shaw, or maybe Lascelles. Lascelles is fit again. He's been pictured in training. He's fit again. Will we change it up to maybe a back five? Or will it be Kraft come in just at right back? You could maybe bring in Jacob Mayfield wing back. I mean, what do you reckon will happen?
I think obviously keep the shape, because this is the shape that's brought on 3 games in a row. So no need to panic and change the whole shape. But it's either going to be Kraft or Jacob Murphy. I'm not sure which one I prefer. They're both as unreliable as each other. But Kraft hasn't been bad since Eddie Howe's come in. But I just noticed that when he came on the other day against Villa, when he came on, the game started to open up a little bit. And I'm not blaming him, but I did notice that Villa were getting in on his side quite often. Whereas that wasn't happening when Trippier was in. And I felt like when he come on, I just felt like the old Newcastle had sort of creeped in to the boys where it was panic. That calmness had sort of disappeared, that composure had disappeared. And then Villa sort of grew into the game, but we managed to manage the game properly. But do you know what? Because of West Ham, I would say go Kraft, because he's more defensive minded. But Jacob Murphy wouldn't be a shout either, because he can offer us something going forward as well. But if I'm to pick, I'll just have to say Kraft, because he will be the smarter option, as we are away and is against a good team in West Ham. So, but it's a shame. It's a shame. As Newcastle fans, it's never so simple, man. Like like when things are going well, because Trippier was slowly becoming my favorite player. And I've not had a favorite player in Newcastle since Cabaye. Since he's left, I've not had somebody that like I'm just like, I love this player. People have come and gone, but when Trippier's come in and he's doing what he's doing, not even the goals that he's getting for us, but just how composed he is on the ball and how he plays and everything else. Now he's injured. I was just thinking, fuck, like, why is it always us?
It's hard, isn't it? Because it's hard when you bring in someone out and he's having such an impact, and then for him to get injured, you just feel like your luck's out, don't you? You feel like the club's cursed, because everything's going so well. We're picking up all these wins in a row. Trippier's scoring goals for it, but it's not just his goals, like you said. It's everything else he brings to the pitch. It's hard to take, because it's going to be one end to the other, innit? You've got elite in Trippier, then you've got the opposite in Kraft. Do you know what I mean? You've got very two opposite ends of the scale there in terms of players' abilities, what they've achieved in their career, and everything else. But it is what it is. We're there now. We're just gonna have to put up with it and hope that Kraft can do a job. I agree. I think stick with the four at the back, and
Yeah,
I probably would start Kraft as that
yeah,
recognised right back with if Mankey
yeah,
was not
yeah,
there.
yeah, and that makes sense because again, it is against a good West Ham team, and we are away, so it's going to be a hostile environment. So Craft makes sense.
Yeah, man. Lee's asking here about Miggy Almiron. Can I get a minute on the pitch these days? Can't say we're playing for again, says Lee. What do you think? What do you think of Almiron? What do you think of him so far? You know, he came to Newcastle. He was the record signing, wasn't he? At the time, January 2 years ago, whatever it was now.
Yeah.
Maybe even longer. Any hope for Miggy? And are you surprised maybe Eddie Howe's not trying to get something out of him in a different formation, or is he
But
just not good enough?
no, do you know what it is with Miggy, right? Obviously, we know he's got the ability, but I just don't know what it is. You know, he's had his chances uh, in the side, but I don't know because I would prefer Fraser now.
Yeah.
Obviously, Miggy does work hard and he sort of gives his all in the team, but he's not a bad person to have on the bench. So, it sort of shows now our depth because obviously before Miggy walks into the team and it's the Miggy show in a way because Miggy was the guy that we would go to and for hope, but now he's somebody now we can bring off the bench. So it just sort of shows sort of how the squad is actually growing and it is sort of getting a bit more like competitive as well. So I'm not mad at the fact that he's not playing because obviously Fraser's been playing well and so is Sam Maxi. But it is a shame because he came with high expectations and
Mm.
I thought he was going to come in and sort of light it up a little bit more than he has. But he hasn't really done much. But I would sort of award him for his work rate because when he plays each time he leaves his heart on the field, innit? So, but it's just those things, isn't it? Like in the football, man, like you get in a new coach and sometimes you don't sort of fit the way the coach wants to play. And o- other than that, wide, I don't see him playing anywhere else. Not in the 10, not in the middle. So it is, it's one of those ones that sit tight, work hard in training, and hopefully. Um, anyhow sees your worth because you're playing better than Fraser. And if he comes in playing better than Fraser, then that's a win for us as well. So yeah, man,
That's the thing, and if he gets a
yeah,
chance, take it. He has to. If he comes in, he
yeah,
has to take a chance.
take it, take it.
His debut, his debut. Remember his debut against Huddersfield. He hit the ball and everything. He was controlling the game. He was unbelievable.
Yeah,
Big, like you said, big expectations, but hasn't quite found it. His finishing hasn't been great at times. Confidence probably as well.
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I'm not sure I would get rid of him unless you maybe loaned him. I think Miggy would definitely be more suited to La Liga, somewhere like that, where he's got more time on the ball and that. Maybe the
Yeah,
Premier
yeah, yeah,
League isn't quite the league for him, but
yeah,
we'll
yeah,
wait and see.
yeah. And I wasn't learning because he's I don't know. It's either you keep him or sell him.
Hmm.
So, but hey, what can we do?
Bigger players be joined off European football. It depends what kind of bigger players we're talking about there. But I think when people were talking earlier about Isaac and Bellingham, those aren't going to come without European football. That kind of standard of player.
Yeah.
Another one is, like I said earlier, Captain Lascelles. He is fit. He's ready to go. But why would you change it from Bruno and Shaw? From Burn and Shaw? I wouldn't change Burn and Shaw at centre backs, would you?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. That's a headache for Eddie Howe because it's
Especially
true
with
that
Trippier being out with no captain as well.
okay, fine. Then he comes in straight away. Then literally, he
Yeah.
comes. But for who though? Um,
And because
maybe
both have been brilliant. Shaw as well.
yeah. So maybe Howe does go to a back five to
I think he
actually
might actually. Yeah.
yeah he might, but I don't think he should. He shouldn't do
No.
that because we've won 3 games in a row. So why would you change it? But
Yeah.
yeah, I think the defense will be very interesting to see actually, in terms of how we set up because yeah, like who do you actually drop? Not maybe Shaw actually, and go with Dan Burn.
Yeah.
That's what I think he might do. If he has to pick one, then he'll pick Shaw to sort of come out. But if he can't pick one, then he might just go to back five. But I don't think that's the case, because we need the bodies in the midfield to sort of win that game.
Big midfield West Ham have got, haven't they? Declan Rice and those guys there. Good, strong team. West Ham will touch on that towards the end of the show. Another big talking point is Bruno just start to freshen it up a bit. Is Daniel. Now again, it's a bit like the defence, isn't it? You can you change the winning formula? Would you unsettle that because Willock, Shelby, and Julian have been so good? Is it time to start Bruno?
The thing is, the last time he was on there, I said start Bruno against Villa, and because the Villa game was how I said it was going to be, it was very dogged performance from Willock. Willock was the reason why we actually scored in the first place because he pressed, and then it led to, I think it was the second. Yeah, he pressed and he passed the ball out, and then the ball went out to Samaxi, and then he crossed it in for Fraser's goal. So do you bench Willock? Do you know what my view on this is? Yeah, because we're up against such a good team in West Ham. Yeah, but even though I do believe we can go there and get something from them, but because we're up against them, we should actually play our best players because because now there's no Trippier. Um, we need the quality on the pitch. So I would say this is a time to just bring the guy in now. Bring him in because it's now mid-February. Bring him in and give us the extra quality on the pitch because we've taken out Trippier's quality. So let's have somebody else that can sort of match West Ham's quality. And yeah, same again. I would take out Willock as harsh as it is. You know, this is us now. This is Newcastle now. We have a squad where places are up for grabs. And just because Willock's played well the last 3 games doesn't mean we'll be cutting out bringing Bruno, who is our sort of marquee signing of this window. Bring the guy in, man. Start from now. And let's sort of take Willock out on a high note. I would rather Willock come out of the team the way he's coming out now, playing 3 games on a spin, played well all 3 games. Take him out because it wouldn't be a blow to his confidence as much because he's still thinking, I'm playing well, and like you said last week as well, he's not a bad option to have off the bench.
Yeah.
So I would say you bring in Bruno in just because we need that extra quality on the field with Trippier missing out. To sort of make us that force that we know that we can be and that we were against Villa because the Villa game was impressive, man. So let's bring him in and I'll say take out Willock.
Because Willock's the only one there you're mentioning, obviously, so definitely Willock out. No chance of John Joe coming out. No chance of J7 coming out. Get that Brazilians in the middle of the park.
No, because nobody in the team does John Joe's job as good as he does it. So John Joe's probably the safest person, him and Samaxi, in the team because John Joe's key to how we play, and nobody in the team can really do his job the way he does it. And Big Joe, how can you take him out? Because we're away, we are away to West Ham, and it's going to be a tough game. Like I keep saying, it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be an open game as well. So we will need his attributes, his legs, his physique, his power to sort of get the winning ball back and bring us forward. So and that midfield, Shelby behind Bruno and Joelinton, for me is it's a good enough midfield to actually go there and cause them problems.
Mm-hmm. Especially because West Ham won't know how to handle him either, will they? Nobody will know how to really handle Bruno in the Premier League yet. So that'll be a big bonus for us. A bit like when Maxi first came to the league before everyone started doubling up on him. Bit of an unknown entity, really, Bruno. And for me now, like Bruno is not going to be happy sitting on the bench week after week, is he? It's going to be the third game now. If he doesn't start, he's going to be thinking, I keep this team that was meant to be shit and I can't even get a game. I'm
man.
£40 million. Why am I not playing?
Yeah.
He's going to be sitting there. He's going to be wanting to play, man.
Yeah, facts. And I think he's seen enough of the league now to understand what it's about. He's seen us play at home twice, so I do think he's ready, man. Of course he's ready, and we've seen little small glimpses of him already. So why not have him for like probably I don't know from the start and see what he brings us. So definitely start Bruno, man. And I'll be there as well. So I would want to see him live myself from the jump as well.
Yeah, well, that's why you're saying it. You want to see him yourself. But he's asking Matty, with the target being top 6 next season, will House survive? And he's pointing out how Ashley was obviously lenient and the new owners aren't because the expectations are so high. So will Eddie Howe go if we don't get top 6 or look like we're going to get top 6? I would have to say it would depend on performances and maybe if we're in cups. So if we're still like having an FA Cup running, but we're sitting in 10th, 12th, that could be something that we'll look at. But I don't think Eddie Howe would survive the end of next season if we win top 6, top 8. I don't, to be honest. But
who said top 6 was our aim?
well, exactly. I mean, the new owners have said they want to be in the Champions League within, what, 4 years? Was it 5 years?
Yeah,
So,
that's 4 or 5 years, man. I think to expect top 6 after a year of almost getting relegated, I think I think to me it's like it's a massive spike, and I don't know, like, I don't think it's realistic. I think the stages that we have to complete first. We have to be the best out of the not the smaller clubs because we're not a small club, but the other clubs like the Palaces and the Brightons. We have to get past them first. Get past those sort of teams, Southamptons and Brightons, and then we can think about sort of challenging for top 6. So we have to probably like be just top 10, 8th, and then after next season, like take it that way because I
then look
think
for Europe.
yeah, because I think top 6 is a lot because you're asking us to finish above Spurs or Arsenal or finish above those teams
Man
as well.
United.
Man United as well. So, and obviously, yeah, I get it. If West Ham can do it, so can we. And there is a gap,
West Ham.
and they've shown it's possible. Leicester have shown it's possible as well, but I don't know yet. I'm just.
I think for
step
me
by
as well,
step.
it would all.
I'm,
I think it would all depend on the caliber of signs as well. Like, who do we sign? Like, if we went out and spent 250 million and we do bring in Carlos Botman and a 50 million pound striker, then that's going to obviously up the ante of where you finish.
yeah,
But
yeah, true.
again, it's like you said, mate. I mean, we're fighting a relegation this year, and we're talking about what, finishing above Man United and Arsenal
Yeah,
and them lot next year, where they've been in that mix for what, 10, 15 years. Do you know what I mean? It's
yeah,
a bit.
yeah. So, but it's possible because obviously teams have done it like West Ham and Leicester. But I wouldn't want to put the pressure on the boys or on Eddie Howe just yet. Let's enjoy next season of. I think next season will be a season for us to understand where we are. Where we are as a club. Let's establish ourselves, and then we can actually kick on for that. Let's have a full season, 2 full windows with new ownership, and see how we fare that way. And then probably the season after, of course, yeah, hope for top 6 because then we would have had maybe 6 windows by then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see, man.
A lot of talk this week again on extending St James's Park or moving St James's Park to a brand new stadium, maybe at the arena site on the quayside. What's your thoughts on that, Uggs? Would you demolish the stadium, build one on top of it, build one somewhere else, or just try and extend the current one?
Extend it because there's 2 tiers that are higher than the other 2. So just extend 1 tier probably. So probably. Yeah, man. There's no need for us to move because like it's not like we're Everton or someone like that that has a small ground or Palace. Someone we have the space already, so just build upwards, and we could actually complete the whole thing. But even just 1 stand is enough, to be honest with you, and that will add at least probably an extra 10,000-15,000, because I think it's going to happen as well because City done the same thing. City added a 3rd tier to their ground when they started winning trophies. Liverpool added to theirs as well, and they are going to do it again as well. So I don't think there's any need for us to move. It's just extend it to maybe a 70,000 seater stadium or 65 even, and make it even more of a fortress than it is already.
Yeah, man, I agree. I don't want to lose the. I mean, as much as a nice new fancy stadium would be good, like I've been to Tottenham's new stadium, it's unreal. I like the tradition of Newcastle St James's Park being that cathedral on the hill, the historic ground. It's right in the city centre. You can't beat it, man. It's a special place. I've lost the question that I had. Oh, here it is. How many points will it be to survive He's thinking it could be as low as 34.
Yeah.
I think he's probably right there, mate. To be honest, what do you think? Mid-30s? I mean, I'm going to look at last year's table and see what that was.
Because what it is, yeah, because I think this season is a very low scoring season for the points down the bottom. So I do think it, because now we're on what 21 points, yeah. I think three wins gives us 30, and I'd say 30, I think 33, 34 does it honestly because it means Watford and all Burnley and Norwich have to win more games as well. Like they have to win more games. They have to win more games than we've already won to stay with us. So I think I think 33, 34 will do it. I don't see Norwich getting to 30 points. I don't see Watford doing that. Burnley maybe because of the games in hand, but they've now only got 2 games in hand now. So um, yeah, I do believe this one will be a low scoring season. So 34 points will definitely do it. I think 100%.
Just looking at last year, it was Burnley in 17th on 39 points.
Woo!
But 18th place Fulham only had 28 points. 28 points Fulham. So, yeah, and then
Wow.
Newcastle, who ended up in 12th. Brucey Ball got with 45 points in the end after that mad run that went on with Joe Willock on fire. But everyone always points to the magic 40-point marker, but normally it's around 38, isn't it? Really, 36. I think, like you said, if you look at this season, I mean, Newcastle to still be in the mix over the last few weeks when we'd only won 1 game all season was
Yeah,
absolutely
exactly.
mental. So
Yeah.
I think probably 35, 36 will definitely do it this year.
But the fact that you said now Fulham had 28, yeah. So the teams that were below them, so they were who went down last year? Was it Fulham,
West Brom
Sheffield?
and Sheffield United.
Yeah. So what did they have?
I'll get it back up. So Fulham, West Brom, and Sheffield United went down. It was
28. I think
Sheffield United. Remember, Sheffield United's one of the only wins was against us, wasn't it? Remember that? Fucking
Yeah.
Sheffield United rock bottom with 23 points. West Bromwich Albion 19th with 26 points, and then Fulham in 18th with 28 points.
I think it's going to be similar to this season, honestly. Because like I said, I don't see these other teams getting 30 points. So I do believe it's going to be that low. So 34 points clears us. Literally, it clears us. I don't see these guys winning three or four more games to reach 30 points, man. So I do believe it's going to be the same as last year, 28, 29 points for the highest team in the bottom 3.
So Newcastle would need about another 4 wins. We're on 21 points at the minute, so another 3-4 wins would do it in the last
3-4 wins
games.
and yeah, I think 3-4 wins and a couple of draws, then we're good to go. Beat Brentford because I think that's a game that we can win, and try and get something on Saturday because I don't see why we can't go West Ham because we've won 3 out of the last 4 games at their ground. So I don't see why we can't go there again and get something from them, a draw or a win. So if we were to get the 3 points, then that puts us on 24, and then the teams below us are 17, 16. Do you get me? So it's like it gives us daylight, and that would happen in the space of 4 games. So those points for us to win is just about getting the points up. But I'm glad that we were able to sort of stop that rot of not winning games and losing games or drawing games. Now we've got the habit of winning. Why can't we go West Ham again and sort of get something from them? Because it's West Ham at the end of the day. It's not like a Man City or someone. It's West Ham.
And we've got a good record there as well. 3 wins in the last 4.
Yeah.
But the big thing as well is obviously our fixtures get real sticky towards the end of the season, don't they? We've got a few weeks against Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool in a row. So
Yeah.
we try and get a couple more wins before then. That would help out massively.
Yeah.
Sonny's asking 1 player you would sell in the summer. Who do you think it would be? 1 player we should sell in the summer. Kieran Clark.
Mate, of course, there's many that we can sell in summer. Clark, Dwight Gale,
Deadwood, innit? Deadwood all over.
Obviously Hendricks is on loan, but sell him as well. I would sell Longstaff as well To be honest with you, yeah, I know that is a local boy, but get him gone. There's many players. I'll sell Fernandez as well, the centre half, because he's not been healthy this season. So obviously he's not up to it. So I'll sell him. I would sell McCraft because obviously at the end of the day we're going to need space for the squad if we're going to try and build a better squad next season and get in players like Doku and stuff. So Matt Ritchie, I don't know. These are players that we have to look at and say, are they going to be part of? Yeah, exactly. So are these players going to be part of our next squad going forward? And the new Newcastle. And they've done their job. They've enjoyed us for the last couple of years. Now it's under a new regime because these are all Ashley's players. So it's at some point they're all going to go in it. So let's start now.
Back to what I was saying earlier, plenty of people. I'm just catching up with everyone's comments. There's loads coming in, so big up everyone that's in the chat, tuned in, hit subscribe, hit like. Top 6 in 3 years, too soon to be thinking next 2. Bristol Rovers in the house. Elliot Anderson is a baller. He's on loan at us, and yeah, I can see he is getting loads of recognition from you lot. Managed by Joey Barton. That's good to see, isn't it, mate? Joey Barton managing Elliot Anderson, and he's on fire at the minute.
Yeah, and I think he's the best person for him as well, to be honest. So hopefully he continues and he proves himself, because it's nice buying players from abroad and stuff and from other clubs, but we do want to see players come from our youth team as well. So if he can break into the team next season and prove himself, because all the top sides, Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, United, Arsenal, they all have players coming from the academy. So that's something that we need to sort of look at as well and do for us, because obviously the last person was Longstaff. He tried, he didn't even sort of reach the potential that we thought was going to go. He's still a great player, or good player, should I say? But so I think that the project for the new ownership is to develop the academy and bring in players that to sort of challenge and come in, because that will save you a lot of money as well, and you got players who already know the club and the city. So, and it's exciting to have young players come through, because I watch Liverpool and I look at Curtis Jones, for example, him coming through, or Arsenal, I look at Saka. So I feel like, why can't we have the same for ourselves?
Liverpool as well, with Harvey Elliott, and you mentioned Man City, even Man City with Man City with Phil Foden, all their billions. Even when you look at their bench now, they've always got like the likes of Cole Palmer and that on the bench. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. So I think we're getting to a point where we don't want to be the club that is buying players as well. We want to have our own identity as well. So bringing players, but at the same time having a good youth structure, even like helping them challenge as well for in their respective leagues as well. So hopefully that's the case, and Anderson does well at Bristol Rovers, and sort of in pre-season he comes back firing, and he can sort of get into the squad, but maybe a bit too soon, because we sort of need to build the squad first. So it's quite unfortunate actually for the young players coming in now, because it's going to be difficult, because our intention is to bring players in. So I believe the 13, 14-year-olds, they will be the ones to benefit in the future. So like Phil Foden is now, because back in the days, City weren't sort of bringing out their young players in when they had the Aguero was on Torres. They didn't have players coming through the academy, so it takes a while, which I'm aware of. So it's probably going to take another 5-7 years for that to even happen. So it's kind of harsh on these young kids, because they might not even get the chance, but eventually, hopefully, that happens.
It's a very good point. That actually, that is a very good show, because, like you say, now you see Foden that coming through, but at the time, the new owners just want instant success, don't they? So it's just like, and it takes time. Look at what Man City have done with the Etihad campus and the academy and the new coaches and everything. It takes time to bleed these through. Good to see a lot of people being realistic. Top 6 maybe too much. Top 8 next year. Top 6 is miles off. Let's just focus on staying up.
Facts. The bloody jumping. I was like top 6, mate. Having a laugh. Having a bloody
This
laugh.
is they make a great point. If we're not battling relegation next year, mate, I'll be happy. Give me top 10 and just comfort, not stress every week. Yeah, not stress from the off, like battling bottom
Just
3.
win, lose, draw, win, lose, draw, win. I'm happy. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. Not losing every game. For now, anyways, I'm cool with that. And then obviously the next couple of years, when we've had our time for that, then obviously cool. But yeah, it is what it is.
Finishing above Spurs might could happen this season.
Has the bacon. That's funny.
A lot of people going on about the East Stand as well. Just extend the East Stand, just extend the stadium. Don't move ground. The only PIFC wants to win the Champions League by 2030. That's 8 years in an interview on TV.
Oh wow!
Don't mess around. Well, PIF if they can get permission on about the ground there again. What else you seeing in the chat? $34 is the target. Fancy us to win 2-1 on Saturday. I'll tell you what we'll do now. We'll dive into that game then, Big Oaks, because you're going to be there. I'm going to be on DR Sports again. So everyone at 2:30, tune into that for the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Stay tuned before that, as Big Oaks will be bringing us his reaction from the London Stadium. Maybe a little bit of a vlog as well. Now, West Ham pushing for top 4 this season again. Have another great year. What do you think? How's that one going to go on Saturday? Like I said earlier, Newcastle 3 wins in the last 4 at the London Stadium. Good place for us to go. It's going to be a hard game, though, isn't it? It's going to be a tight one.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight game because obviously they're in great shape at the minute. But looking back at their few games, last game they drew to Leicester. They went 1-0 up, then they were 2-1 down, and then they got this lucky handball. That was a goal, so it was 2-2. The game before that, I think, was Watford at home, 1-0. They won that, and then they lost to United, and then they lost to Leeds at home 3-2. So they're a bit inconsistent at the minute, and we can add to that. We can add to their inconsistency because, like we said, our last 4 games over there, we've won 3 of them. And we've won our last 2 there. So the opening game of the season last season and the game before that, where we went 3-0 up and then they come back 3-2, but we won a game. So I do think it's a place where we can get joy from. Like if we play anything like we did against Villa, and just go there and fight for the win, because it's going to be another game where it's going to be dogged and we have to play nasty. So give away fouls or do whatever we need to do. And Bowen is a problem, though.
Big problem.
Yeah, he's a problem. He's the one that we need to sort of look out for. And I'm so glad he's playing on the right hand side and not on the left hand side. So
he might switch him over this week, maybe just for the crack.
Yeah. So Target can actually match him. But it's a game that we can get something from, because it's not like it's Man City or Liverpool or Arsenal, not Arsenal, but Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea. It's not these teams, so it's a game that we can go there, 3 wins out of 3 with our tails up and say, why not that? Why can't we come here and get points from? Because Lee's done it a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So
true.
I do believe. I think it's going to be a draw, 1-1 draw. And like Aaron's saying, a draw will be a good result. So I'll definitely take a draw. But because I'm going there, I would like to see a win, because then the party starts, innit? But I mean, a draw's fine, because then a draw keeps us going. Like Aaron's saying as well, it will be a battle in the midfield, Rice and Big Joe. And I think that's where we sort of won the game against Villa, the battle in midfield. And it's going to be sort of the same. They have a few injuries as well, so we can sort of capitalize on that. But
who's out for West Ham, mate? Who's the injuries for West Ham?
I think they are missing a few centre backs.
Zuma, hopefully.
Yeah. So So that being the case, I think that's an area where we can sort of, you know, see some gainage there. So I say a draw, to be honest.
I said the same in my preview last night. I said the same. I think 1-1 or 2-2. I think it's going to be a draw. I'd be very happy with the draw. To be honest, like, I'd definitely
100%.
take a draw, man.
Mm.
Always take a draw to win the Premier League, but on our current form, I just think the main thing for us is just don't get beat.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
always want to go into every game trying to win it, but if we can avoid defeat on Saturday off the back of winning 3, and then heading to Brentford next week,
mm.
which is a huge game, I think, if we can get a draw on Saturday, I'd be buzzing with that.
Yeah, facts. And I think as fans that are going there, we have to make our voices heard, like get behind, like we do anyways. But you know, just even more this time because it's actually a big game because this can set us clear of you know this can set us apart now of the bottom 3 and put us in the bracket of the Palace, the Brentfords, and etc. So these teams weren't ever talked about in terms of going down. So a win puts us up, you know, with that pack. So it gives us that sort of opportunity to do that. But we'll see, man. As long as the boys give it and compete, you know, because if you're competing, if you're competing, you give yourself a chance of winning the game anyway. So as long as we're competing, we done that against Villa. We started off on the front foot competing. You know, so many times we've seen Newcastle, you know, go somewhere and we just sat back, waiting for us to concede. But I don't think that's the case no more. Like we're actually going at teams now. You know, is you come, we come, you come, we come. So as long as we do that, we give ourselves a chance of getting something from the game. So we'll see, man. We shall
Like
see.
you said, it is big because we can try and get away from that pack a little bit. Where the lunchtime kickoff, and for a change, it's like a good old fashioned Saturday where there's loads of 3 o'clock games.
Yeah,
Brentford are away to Arsenal, so hopefully Arsenal do a favour.
yeah,
Watford are away to Villa, so hopefully
yeah,
Villa can get back to winning ways after we beat them on Sunday. Burnley are away to Brighton, so hopefully Brighton can get a win at home. And then you've got Palace against Chelsea, Norwich away to Liverpool. So
yeah.
surely Liverpool do us a favour there. And then Everton away to Southampton. So everyone's playing at 3 o'clock really in the relegation mix. Most of them, if not all of them, away from home. So we could really set ourselves out there, 12, get a point, and everyone will be thinking, well, Newcastle getting away from it a bit.
Listen, a point at West Ham is massive. A point at West Ham is massive, and that just, I think if we don't lose the game, I'll be so proud of the boys, yeah, because we've taken ourselves from from a different area where we're getting pumped left, right, centre, or during games left, right, centre to sort of teams where we should have beaten or having poor performances. But now if we put in a good performance and get a draw or get a win, that is massive for us because now teams now will fear us, and then obviously Brentford the next week they'll be thinking, oh shit, like these guys are in form, like these guys are coming to do us damage. So we just have to keep this going, try and keep it going. But worst case happens, it's not the end of the world because we've gotten 9 points in the bank from our last 3 games. So if that happens, then it happens. But let's obviously think positive. You know, this is team therapy. So let's be positive and let's manifest the points that we want to see. You get
Yeah,
me?
yes. And then Wood has scored 7 goals in 9 games against West Ham.
There you
So
go.
we'll see it every week, but he's going to do it. This Saturday's the day, mate. Make sure you capture that on film as well, mate. Yeah,
I,
big Woody.
I hope so. I hope so, man. I hope so.
Right, then I think we'll round off the Toon therapy there for this week. Big thank you to Who Knows Wins, our sponsor for this episode. Make sure you click the link in the description, sign up to them. We've got a big prize on offer this weekend, £6,000 if you get as many scores right out of the possible 10. You don't have to get them all right, just more than anyone else. And more so, if you download the app, deposit a £5, send me a screenshot of it on Instagram, they're going to pick one lucky winner to win a Newcastle United football shirt. So a Newcastle United shirt for a £5. Not a bad shout, that, and a chance to win £6,000. Right then, thanks to everyone else, more importantly, in the chat and been watching along live with us. Make sure you have liked the video, subscribe, and thanks to you as well, bro. Big hugs. Been a pleasure, mate.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Again, obviously, thanks for this as well. So, anybody at the game on Saturday, just give me a shout, man. Come say hi innit, and then let's party up, man. Let's get it early, get the drinks in early, and just sing our voices out. Let's actually get behind the boys.
If you fancy yourself as a drinker, get in your big hugs, mate. I fucking bet you not. This kid drinks like a fish, right? They're paint every 10 seconds. This bloke.
Listen,
Mate.
I'm immune to alcohol. I'm immune to alcohol. So don't play yourself.
Don't try and come up against them. But follow Big Hugs on Instagram. Subscribe to the Magpie Channel TV. And we'll see you on the next one.